Welcome to Creative Movies Recapped. Today's recap is a horror and thriller film called The Reaping. Before we continue, please subscribe to support our channel. The film opens up with Father Michael Costigan having a nightmare about his friend Catherine Winter. When he wakes up, he takes her pictures from his drawer and notices developed burn marks that, when assembled, form a sickle-like symbol, which is a possible sign from God that Catherine's life is in danger. Catherine is a former missionary, scientist, and professor who spends her days trying to disprove religious phenomena after her family is killed. Catherine and colleague Ben investigate claims of miracles on an expedition to the city of Concepcion, Chile. They investigate claims that the corpse of a priest who has been dead for 40 years remains in pristine condition, but eventually discover that toxic waste helped preserve the body. In Louisiana, Catherine receives a call from Father Costigan. He tells her of the signs she saw and that she is in danger. Catherine ignores him. She meets Doug Blackwell, a teacher from the nearby town of Haven, who asks Catherine to find out why Haven's river has turned red. The locals believe this is a biblical plague caused by a girl, Lauren McConnell, who they believe killed her older brother in the river. They travel to Haven with Ben, where Catherine sees the river is indeed entirely red. All the living things in the river have died. They collect dead fish and samples of red water for tests. As Catherine is taking photos, she sees Lauren McConnell and starts chasing after her before she disappears. She meets Doug and together comes across the ruins of an old church which Doug explains was destroyed 100 years ago by several hurricanes, forcing the entire town to relocate to another place. Meanwhile, Ben witnesses dead frogs falling from the sky. Doug invites them to spend the night at his house, where he reveals he comes from a long line of only children. That night, their dinner becomes rotted with flies instantly. They get a call asking them to come to a nearby farm, where they find that the cows are dying of an unknown disease. Ben begins to question whether the events could have biblical causes, but Catherine remains unconvinced. She gives possible scientific solutions to the 10 biblical plagues. The owner of the farm tells them that the McConnell family has been visited by people who appear to be Satan worshippers and that he saw evidence of a religious sacrifice. Father Michael Costigan keeps seeing strange signs as Ben is working on his tests. Later that evening, Catherine tells Doug why she left the church. 5 years ago, she was an ordained minister. While doing missionary work in Sudan with her husband and daughter, the locals sacrificed her family, believing they caused a drought. Catherine then has intense dreams that she and Doug have sex. When she wakes up, she tries to cook some eggs, but the yolk is all bloody. She then sees Lauren's images in another of her dreams and also dreams of the day when her family was murdered. Ben wakes and comforts her after she struggles with the nightmares in her sleep. Ben shares his research with Doug as Catherine sees horrific scenes connected to her visit to Africa and the death of her family. She goes to talk to Lauren in their unkempt house in the woods. She sneaks inside the house and then finally meets with Lauren. Lauren remains silent the whole time. Catherine notices that her leg is soaked in menstrual blood. Catherine helps clean her up and has a vision of Lauren killing his brother and turning the river red. She disappears. Catherine goes back to the house and Lauren's mother appears asking if Catherine is there to kill Lauren. Before she can explain, Lauren attacks her mother for trying to say the cause of his son's death and Catherine runs away. A lice outbreak soon occurs. Ben and Doug visit a local school to investigate this. They find children being shaved off their hair to expose the lice as others scratch their heads in pain and discomfort. The locals blame Ben for not coming up with answers, being scientists who came for that purpose. The mayor suggests that they should stop wasting their time and go research Lauren, who lives close to the swamp with other devil worshippers. Ben and Catherine examine Lauren's brother's body, finding the sickle-like symbol branded into his lower back. Test results prove the river contains human blood. Ben and Doug try to get the mayor to evacuate the town. Catherine calls Father Costigan, who explains that he has researched a satanic cult that sacrifices every second-born child once they reach puberty to create a perfect child with the eyes of the devil, to bring them power. He believes that Lauren is the devil's child. He also states that an angel, who cannot be harmed by the cult, will destroy them. He insists that Catherine is the angel. Before the mayor evacuates, he and his staff are all killed by boils. A supernatural force burns Costigan's room, killing him. The locals gather to kill Lauren to try to stop the plagues. Catherine returns to the McConnell house, where she finds the cult's sacrificial chamber. Inside the chamber, Lauren's mother says that Lauren has become his servant and then kills herself. Outside, Catherine finds locusts everywhere. As the townspeople arrive and prepare to kill Lauren, the locusts attack and kill the attackers. Doug runs away and falls into the river. Catherine locks herself in the house and Ben hides in a crypt, where he discovers skeletons and bodies of sacrificed children. Ben tries to get out of the crypt but finds Lauren standing outside the door. He calls Catherine but his phone goes off instantly. Catherine arrives and finds Ben dead. She confronts Lauren as darkness falls and fiery hail and thunder rain from the sky. Catherine is about to kill Lauren when suddenly she says something that Catherine told her daughter in Sudan. Catherine asks how she can tell what is real. Lauren answers, faith, and shows her a vision of the truth. The cult encompasses the entire town, and Doug is shown trying to kill Lauren since she has reached puberty. Lauren escaped and her brother Brody stabbed her, but her wound miraculously healed, and Brody died. Catherine realizes that Lauren is the angel that God sent. She also sees that Doug killed Ben. The townsfolk surround them as Doug tells her that only an ordained servant of God can kill Lauren. He reveals that his family recruited the entire town into the satanic cult, as the hurricanes that destroyed the old church led them to believe that God had abandoned them. He invited Catherine to investigate the plagues because they hoped she would join them since she had turned her back on God. Catherine refuses. A sudden fire then rains down on the town, killing the Satanists who all happen to be firstborns. Doug grabs Catherine as he is being lifted off the ground and killed, with Catherine being spared. As Catherine drives Lauren away, Lauren reveals that Catherine is pregnant. Catherine realizes that the dream she had of sex with Doug was actually Doug having drugged and raped her. Since this is her second child, Catherine realizes that her unborn son, fathered by Doug, is the prophesied demonic child. Hope you've enjoyed today's recap. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching.